Good afternoon. Welcome back to Real American Variety. My name is Bethany, and it has been some time. I've been taking a little time away from making long form comment content because I had gotten a few violations and I had been shadow banned, if that's really a thing. People say it is, people say it isn't. I don't really know. However, my content was not being shown whatsoever. So I had kind of done some research. People said lay low, don't post anything, take anything off that, violated the guidelines. And that's what I did. And now all of a sudden it seems that I've gotten crawled out of the well. So that being said, I'm keeping things not necessarily light, but I just have come to understand that you have to be very careful what you say here on YouTube, and I'm going to try to abide by those rules as best as I can. So I wanted to start with something light that I found entertaining. It's something that everyone's kind of talking about right now, and that is Trump's Truth, which is, on Truth Social. He was talking about Kayleigh McEnany, which is kind of crazy because she was his press secretary, and I always thought that they had a good relationship. But this is what he recently had to say about her, and I thought it was hilarious. I'm going to share the screen, so give me one moment here. Let's see. Here we go. So, Kayleigh McEnany. Kayleigh Milquetoast McEnany just gave out the wrong poll numbers on Fox News. I am 34 points up on Sanctimonious, not 25 up. While 25 is great, it's not 34. She knew the number was correct, upwards by the group that did the poll. The rhinos and globalists can have her. Fox News should only use real stars. So, I have some thoughts on this. I honestly didn't even know about it. It was brought to my attention because I happened to click on a Candace Owens, excuse me, um, clip on YouTube where she used the tagline "Trump really screwed up" or something like that. So I'm like, oh gosh, what is she saying? Because she's kind of stopped supporting Trump, it seems, over the last year or since they had that interview. And basically, she was just flipping out on him, like how this is so inappropriate and blah, 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 blah. But I have a little bit of a different take on this. And yes, I am a Trump supporter. So it could be partly that, I can kind of see through the bull crap that everyone gets so up in arms. And plus, I'm just not easily offended. So I just kind of look at this and I'm like, okay, well, basically, I have watched her support for Donald Trump like disintegrate over the last year and a half. As somebody who, until the Tucker Carlson incident, I was just a very avid Fox watcher, always understanding you take it with a grain of salt, still right wing propaganda. However, um, she's made some statements over the last year and a half that just kind of showed me that she was kind of pulling her support away from him. And she's really been is seemingly jumping into the DeSantis camp. So, I mean, whatever. People do whatever people do. I get that. But the one thing that I've learned about Donald Trump, because we're seeing this with DeSantis as well, is loyalty is everything to him. So he looked at her as she was loyal, and now all of a sudden she was kind of taking that loyalty away and giving it to someone else. And to him, that's a personal attack. Whether you think that's right or wrong or the other, I believe that's what fueled this more so than him thinking that she has no talent or that Fox has a bunch of real stars. Because I really think it was just more that he knows to hit where it counts. So I just thought that was interesting. I mean, again, I could give two craps what Donald Trump says about literally anyone. For me, it's just I want somebody in an office that's going to run our country, and I liked our country better when he was there. So I just look at it like if you can't handle his tweets or truths now, then just don't read them. Stay away. So the next thing I wanted to kind of move on to, which I am just finding very bizarre. So first of all, I could give two flying you know what's about Hollywood and Hollyweird and all the weird things and what's going on in Hollywood. But all of a sudden, my husband brought to my attention this Jamie Foxx thing. And I was like, Jamie Foxx, like I didn't even know. Apparently, he's been in the hospital. So then it was very strange to me that I look it up on, I'm looking up different things and I'm seeing all this. Oh, he outed P. Diddy. for some weird parties he was having, and everybody, like, I'm reading through all these comment sections of all these people that are convinced that like P Diddy had something to do with it. P Diddy puffed, I don't even know what his name is anymore, but anyways, that he was probably responsible for this. Whereas my husband had brought to my attention that now all of a sudden there's this new narrative that he was forced to get something that he didn't want to get in order to make this movie. And now he's had a stroke and a blood clot in his brain. So he's paralyzed and he's blind due to this. And nobody knows whether he's alive or dead because we haven't seen him at all. There's been this bizarre thing with his, apparently, his daughter has actually come out and said that he's fine. He's playing pickleball. He's been home for 2 weeks, and all this kind of not believable stuff because we just think, well, I'm not like a Jamie Foxx fan per se. I think he's great, but I couldn't name one thing he's in, to be perfectly honest. But I know he's a talented guy, but he basically has not made any sort of appearance whatsoever. So this is just one of the tweets that people are starting to say as to why he is suffering from all these things. And I just got thinking to myself, like, how bizarre, because they would never let that, when, if anyone spoke of this narrative last year, and it was about like when I know it came up about Damar, it came up about some other people, and we were quickly put in our conspiracy theorist places, right? And then I got thinking to myself, like, what if they are actually okay with this theory out there because that is less threatening to them than exposing Hollywood and what's going on in Hollywood. And it sounds like he was trying to expose some of that. I think he came out and said what he said like very shortly before he fell ill. So there's this one, like, all these theories over here. And of course, it goes down these rabbit holes. And I'm like, what is going on? Because conspiracy theories are very interesting to me. I don't subscribe to all of them. And all the Hollywood stuff, I can subscribe to the stuff where it's like, they're doing some really bad stuff because they're human, and humans, there are a lot of evil humans. But then they get into, well, it's Jamie Foxx is already dead. It's probably a clone. If he comes back, it's not him. I know they believe that about Damar Hamlin. So like all of that is a little difficult for me to get on that level or swallow that, but I find it intriguing. But I was just like, okay, so are we finally at a place where they're like, okay, which one of these is more damaging? And in this, like, and they're going to choose this one. I mean, they are trying to squash this, don't get me wrong. But I know Dr. Drew had someone on there that came out and just, was talking about it. He said he had a really good source, heard from someone in the room. I don't know if he meant the hospital or what. Yeah, so that was that story. I don't know what anyone is thinking about that. I want to hear your thoughts because I find both stories very bizarre. He was an extremely talented, healthy, in shape young man. So to all of a sudden have a stroke and get a blood clot is not normal. But did that really happen? Is that even really why he's in the hospital? Who knows? Who knows? This world is so bizarre now. So moving on, the next thing that I wanted to talk about, and the last thing, because I want to keep this one short, is just everything that went on with Twitter and the Daily Wire. I had a theory about this as well. So when the Daily Wire I don't know if any of y'all have seen What is a Woman, but it's an absolutely amazing documentary. And I watched it about a year ago when it came out. I'm a Daily Wire subscriber, avid watcher. And to me, it wasn't eye-opening in the sense that I had already done so much research and looked into, like, a lot of the flip side of the narrative. And if I'm being cryptic here, it's because I'm just terrified of what I can and can't say on YouTube now. So I apologize. Ask me any question in the comment section and I will clarify my opinion on it. But basically, Jeremy Boring was basically striking a deal up with Twitter. They were going to stream What is a Woman for 24 hours on Twitter for free. And all of a sudden, right before they'd already signed paperwork, everything, they said, we want to screen the movie. And then all of a sudden came back and said, nope, we're scrapping it. We can't do this for you anymore. There's two instances where there's misgendering. And because of that, it is hateful conduct, and we're gonna squash it. We're gonna let you air it, but most likely it's gonna be suppressed. You won't be able to share it, blah blah blah. So that's exactly what ended up happening. They suppressed it, squashed it completely. You couldn't tweet it out, you couldn't share it with anyone. It even came to a place where you couldn't even comment. I watched it till like 11 p.m. that night, and like, the bickering back and forth and what was going on. And where's Elon Musk? Well, he's in China, so he's not really saying anything. And then finally, apparently the next morning, he comes out and he says this. So he says that they were wrong and that nobody should have been suppressing it. That was a big mistake on Twitter's part. And then he tweeted out this. Every parent should watch this, to all of his 100 million followers or more, whatever he has. And then since then, they decided to keep it on the platform for 24 hours. So now there's just like, I mean, I believe the reach has just been so amazing for them because they have everything behind a paywall so that they don't have to worry about it getting taken down. But they were putting, they saw that, well, if Tucker Carlson's going to make this deal with Twitter, then maybe they were going to start streaming all of their shows on Twitter as well. And then they wanted to do this, thinking this will be a great kickoff for when they start doing all of that. And then this whole thing happened. Well, what has happened since then? I know that the person that was like the truth and safety person has now resigned. And then another gentleman right under her also, let's see, AJ Brown just recently was fired, and Ella Irwin, she resigned on Thursday. So I was like, okay, maybe this is like 4D chess. So it was like maybe like Elon had this expectation that they would do this, allowed it to happen, so that he could get rid of clean house with a few more people that he had not prior fired. And now this has probably blown the movie up even more because people are like, what is this? Like, everyone, it's like the car accident, you shouldn't watch, but you want to watch. And they did this almost as a publicity stunt. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't really know, but it just seems like that's kind of what Elon does. Everything is like 4D chess to him. He's not just thinking about what's happening right now. He's thinking 3 steps beyond. And I just feel like this benefits because at first everyone was like, whoa, 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 Elon, like we're all going to leave Twitter. Like what's going on? You said free speech. You said conservatives are going to have a platform. Like, did you lie to us? Like, this is the line in the sand, bro. Like, and then all of a sudden he not only said, no, that was wrong. They shouldn't have done that, it's going up, but then tweeted out, every parent should watch this. And I even heard a rumor, I do not know if this is correct, so please feel free to fact check me, but that he has a kid that could be trans. So for him to say that is coming from somebody who even understands as a parent who has a child who's going through these exact issues. And he's saying every parent should watch this because it is really important. It just gives you the flip side. It gives you the things that they're kind of not telling you, the things that the narrative is keeping quiet so that hospitals and big pharma can make a lot of money, because it's not really about your kid. It's not about your child. And I think there's a lot of stuff going along this narrative that is really, really dangerous. And I think for me, the one thing that I say to people that I don't have children, so I can't speak from a place of harming my child and then being scared that they're going to be angry with me in a few years. But I was like, why is no one thinking about the effects this is going to have? Like, why would you not want to listen to somebody who is giving you a flip side? Someone that regretted it, like all these people that are coming out and saying that they regretted what they did, and they wish they'd made a different decision, and you can't reverse out of some of these things. So what's their relationship with their parents look like? Are they angry at their parents? Like, why didn't you protect me? Why didn't you do what parents are supposed to do and protect me and like not allow me to do this? Now I can't reverse it. I can't have kids. I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm not a girl or a boy, and you can't give it that back. And I think that those are the things we're not talking about. So anyhow, I just thought the whole thing was very, very interesting from the Twitter perspective and just completely wondering behind the scenes if all of this was done on purpose, just simply as a publicity stunt to not only help out Elon Musk's reputation with free speech and Twitter, but also to really propel this video out a little bit further than it would go. But those are the things that I wanted to chat with you guys about today. Again, I'm just kind of spitballing here, going off the top of the cuff and kind of telling you what I think about these things. But I would love to hear your thoughts. So please feel free to talk to me in the comment section and give me any sort of critique. I can take it. I may not like it, but I can take it. I can't get better if I don't know what to get better at. But thanks for coming to my channel. You probably came from shorts. My shorts are a little bit more comedic. So thanks for seeing a little bit more of a serious side of me. Appreciate you guys. Have a blessed day. Take care.